Andy Johnson, we are looking at three views of teaching. You can see them there. We will explore and unpack each one of them. The first view is teaching as transmission. This reflects behaviorist learning theory, where the goal is to transmit knowledge and skills from point A, teachers' heads, to point B, students' heads, and beyond. Very teacher-centered. The teacher as the dispenser of knowledge. Students tend to be passive, receptive learners. Everyone has the same defined outcomes. You put students on a 12-year conveyor belt and you attach the same parts to all students at predetermined locations on this conveyor belt. Learning is the replication of knowledge and skills. I replicate what you told me, therefore I have learned. And standardized tests are used to demonstrate learning. Now, this approach, the transmission approach, is useful in limited situations, teaching low-level skills. However, external entities determine what is of worth, standards, and what should be taught and learned, not teachers, not students. The second view is teaching as transaction. A transaction, like a business transaction, is when both parties give to. This reflects constructivist learning theory, where the teacher is helping students transact with material to be learned. Now, this is an educational philosophy, constructivism, that states that students use what's in their head to interact with the new knowledge to construct it based on what they already know. The teacher is an experience creator, creates the experience that enables this construction of knowledge and skills. This tends to be more student-centered. Students and teachers have more choices related to what is learned, how it is learned, and how knowledge, skills, learning is demonstrated. So learning here is the ability to use and apply knowledge. The third view of learning is teaching as transformation. This reflects humanistic learning theory and holistic learning theory. Teaching here is creating and transforming both conditions and experiences, creating these. Students here strive to make personal, interpersonal, and intrapersonal connections with the new knowledge and skills that they are presented. The goal here is for students to discover their talents, their passion, their capabilities. This is another name for self-actualization. Learning is a change in consciousness. Consciousness is what we are aware of. So there's a greater understanding of self, of others, and the environment, and a greater care for or nurturing of self, others, and the environment. This view tries to empower teachers and students to make those choices about how it is learned and how it is demonstrated. The goal of a school is to become irrelevant, so students want to learn and are able to learn, so they don't need a school to learn. This is kind of an overview, the guiding philosophy of each, the psychological basis, the role of the teacher, and the role of the student. Three views of teaching. No one is in one primarily. We tend to go back and forth and we lean more towards one or the other. So it is a continuum.